Hello, welcome on Focus. I have Scott Owen with me. Scott, thanks for coming in as always.
Thanks for having me.
So we had a tragic event a couple weeks ago in Appleton. An EMS firefighter got shot.
Yep.
And I know I had read that Appleton is considering changing some stuff. I know like wearing a vest might have helped him, saved his life or whatever. So you guys already have these vests, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of tell our audience maybe what these vests are and kind of what they can do.
Sure. So the situation that happened to the firefighter in Appleton, he was on a routine medical call and something went bad. That's something that can happen anywhere, anytime. Nobody saw it coming. It was out of the blue. And it's a horrible reminder of what we face anytime we go on a call. It doesn't matter if it's a fire call or an ambulance call or even a call involving law enforcement. We just never ever know. Law enforcement has their vests that they wear daily for this. We typically don't do any of that. We do have some vests that we use for something that's called Rescue Task Force. And so what Rescue Task Force is a situation where, for example, we have an active shooter event and the police have isolated the area where the shooter is. And so now it's time to go in, start clearing other areas and checking for victims and starting initial care. And that's where Rescue Task Force comes in. So what we do is we go in, it's called a stack. So it'll be a police officer up front providing protection, 2 paramedics or EMTs or whatever we have, and then another officer in the back providing protection in the rear. And we systematically move throughout the building. The police protect us, we treat the patients. We have our full vests on, we have our helmets on, all of our medical equipment that we need to do an initial triage and treatment, and then we'll drag out at a certain point. But the vests that we have are specialized for that. They're very heavy, very bulky. It's nothing that our crews would wear on a routine EMS call. These are for specialized circumstances that maybe we get some advance notice, and we keep a lot of them at the station. We have 2 for every ambulance. I think the first ambulance carries them on board with them, but the others are in storage at the station. I know a lot of departments are looking at their procedures based on the Appleton incident. There are several departments that are in the process of purchasing vests for their crews to wear on a daily basis when they go on fire or ambulance calls. There have been several instances of firefighters going to a fire of some sort, getting out of the rig and getting shot at. It's sad that it's something we have to think of in today's society, today's world. When we got into firefighting and EMS, there's a reason we went here and not law enforcement, because we don't want to get shot at. And today's world has changed so much. But there are many departments right now looking at policies, looking at procedures, and making those adjustments to prevent what happened to Mitch over in Appleton.
Right, and it's obviously tragic that it had to happen at all, but it's good for the other departments to kind of open up their eyes and say, hey, this happened close to home, it could happen anywhere, and for them to realize that these vests could maybe save a life. Like I said before, it's not good that it happened, but it's helping a lot of other departments prevent something like this from ever happening again.
Right, and that's unfortunately that's one of the realities in our profession is we learn from bad incidents. When a firefighter dies in the line of duty, there's a federal investigation. They come in, they do an investigation. Why did this person die? What were the circumstances? Here are the recommendations that we make, and they come out with the NIOSH line of duty death reports. And every report has learning points in there for firefighters. These reports, I review them pretty frequently as they come out. Some of them are not pertinent to us, but others, there was one that just came out on aerial truck operations that a firefighter fell out of the bucket because they got hung up on a building. It's very pertinent to what we do because we have that type of a truck. We have those buildings. And it is being reactive, but it's also being proactive, meaning that it hasn't happened to us. We're going to read about it, we're going to learn about it so that we can prevent it from happening here. And what happened with Mitch, when the report comes out, when the official investigation comes out, it's definitely going to be one that is noticed and read by probably every firefighter in the state of Wisconsin, at minimum, because it's something that can happen. When Jamison Campmeyer was killed, the Colby Abbey fire at the theater a couple of years ago, that was another one that it hit close to home, and a lot of people read that report, learned from that report, and unfortunately, that's sometimes what takes place is a firefighter dies, a police officer dies. They read these after-action reports, and changes are made internally to prevent them in the future. So I think it's reviewing these reports and making those changes are the least that we can do for those that were killed in the line of duty, whether it's fire, EMS, or law enforcement.
Right. Let's never hope you guys have to use those vests, right?
Let's hope we never have to. But just because we live in Marshfield, don't say it's never going to happen here. I can remember going on an EMS call, and as the door opened, there were guns laying everywhere. There were knives on the table, and it was nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I suppose I can't imagine what I would do in that type of situation.
Yeah, it was a nervous few minutes there.
All right, well, tune in for more On Focus.